Gods of Egypt is directed by Alex Proyas. Is that how you pronounce his name? Whatever, who cares? And it is about a fantasy world where the pantheon of Egyptian gods and humans live in the same place, and the humans serve the gods. And what happens when Set, played by Gerard Butler, comes on in and takes over the land from hero god, and it's up to Bland Incarnate to try to get everyone together to fight him off and save the day, and they gotta explore all of Egypt and above to really save the day. This movie sucks. This movie is a gobsmacking disaster. It does not work on any level whatsoever. Let's just talk about the visuals of this movie. This whole, and it's not just that the special effects are bad, I'll get to that later. The entire visual design of this movie never materializes. And that is in large part due to the special effects. But this is a movie. This is a visual medium. And then when I'm watching the movie and at every second I don't like looking at it, that is a big problem. Now, going into the special effects, which are a key component to why it's so bad, stuff would look good on a comic book page. For example, like the humans are this big, the gods are this big, and they have to interact with them. It never looks anything more than ridiculous. The golden blood that flows through the gods' veins when they're bleeding gold, it never looks right. It never materializes. This entire world is so bland and uninteresting as a result. But on top of that, like, Anubis looks terrible. The green screen effect. This is a green screen nightmare. You can practically see the green outline around them while they're just walking through the desert. Jeffrey Rush is in this movie. Poor Jeffrey Rush. He's like on fire. He's flaming. That looks like a bad iMovie effect. Like, I've seen better effects just from amateurs on YouTube. And then the gods like turn into these weird robot scarab things. The whole transition of them turning into that looks ridiculous. It looks terrible. Like sci-fi movie of the week bad. And then they do this weird like Iron Man, but more like Venom from Spider-Man 3 thing, where when they need to talk, they need the actors to have FaceTime, so when they're in their metal form, you have this live-action human head on top of this obviously computer-animated body, and it looks terrible. The entire visual design of this movie is broken. It looks ridiculous. But outside of that, what about the story? Well, the story is just an excuse to explore the world. So these two are kind of hinging on each other. And the world is the least interesting. I don't want to go back to this world since Seventh Son. It's that bad. The world is literally flat. You know how like the old legends of, oh, the world is flat. If you go too far off, you'll fall off the world. Interesting idea. But in execution, it feels like self-analysis. And this movie isn't smart enough to find that ironic. But the world is literally flat. So the world isn't interesting. So, oh, but what about the characters? Maybe the characters will redeem them. Nope, these characters suck! Okay, so we have Colin Farrell teen version playing Bland Incarnate. I hated him. He was annoying. His whole character was so like, oh, aren't I just chipper? And aren't I just plucky? Oh, but I don't like the gods. The gods have never done anything for me. He's like Aladdin. I think I've heard people making that comparison. But we're introduced to this guy because he steals something just so he can give it to his girlfriend because he thinks she's hot. Like, oh, yep, the second I saw that, I was like, well, I don't like him. I hope he dies. Nope, he's our main character. Well, he's kind of our main character. Then we have Harsha God. Oh, he's got to overcome his fatal flaw of, I need to trust people. I need to not be selfish. Yeah, you can just see his character archetypes arc from a mile away. From a mile away. And for that matter, we also have this bland supporting cast of wannabe Catwoman, the goddess of love. She can make any man do what she wants because she's got this agenda that she's trying to get done. Kind of like Catwoman. Then we also have Jeffrey Rush as Raw. This was embarrassing to watch. He has to fight this monster every day, and to fight this monster, he's got to hit himself. So we like Bane from Batman and Robin. Bane! Oh, and he gets all big and flaming. And pew! Pew! And shoots something out of his spear to hit this like monster that just has teeth. Like, this actually happens, people, in this movie. It sounds hilarious, and it is for like 2 seconds, but it keeps happening. Okay, so then we have Gerard Butler as Angry Yelling Man. Now, Angry Yelling Man is just completely bland, completely vacuous of any character. He's just the evil a-hole. That's all he is. I'm gonna take over the world! And then we have Hamarshagod and him get into a fight at the beginning because Hamarshagod's the prince who's gonna be taking over the world when Angry Yelling Man takes over it instead and sends him into exile. What happens is Hamarshagod, Hero Man, goes, I looked up to you, Uncle. And then Angry Yelling Man just goes, yeah, I'll bet you did. That is as deep as their... And by the way, isn't that just riveting dialogue? But that's as deep as their conflict is ever going to get throughout the entire movie. If that doesn't make me care, there's nothing more interesting or anything any deeper than that other than, I looked up to you, I'll bet you did. Oh, isn't he a jerk? Ugh, I hated this movie. This movie is worse than Jupiter Ascending. This movie is worse than Seventh Son. Guys, this is I Frankenstein levels of bad. I Frankenstein levels of bad. When this movie comes out on Blu-ray or DVD, just scene by scene explain why I hate this movie so much. I'm going to do a commentary. I have to do a commentary. I feel obligated to do that. I'm giving it a 1 out of 10. Gods of Egypt, you suck! Now, while 50 Shades of Black might objectively be worse, I liked this movie significantly less than 50 Shades of Black. Because it was longer! Anyways, thank you very much for putting up with this, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.